Good afternoon. Welcome to Teleislas News with the most relevant and important information of the day. With music, dances, and songs, the RSA Gloria ship was welcomed back to the island. The commander of the ship, along with the crew, enjoyed the reception, as well as RSA Island residents who were delighted with the presentation of the student sailors on board.
With great pleasure, children and adults of the island once again received the flagship of the Naval Academy, the training ship of the National Navy. Around 8:30 in the morning, the RSA Gloria training ship, recognized as the ambassador of the Colombian country in the seas of the world, was already entering the island through the beaches of Newball Avenue. Captain Jairo Orobio Sanchez, commander of the RSA Gloria, emphasized his satisfaction for the warm welcome with which they have always been received.
Venir acá es un privilegio y siempre.
Coming here is a privilege and always in this beautiful contrast. San Andres, Old Providence, and Santa Catalina will always be a great destination because it certifies the formation of our sailors, trains them, gives them the capacity and makes them find themselves and the truth. What must be highlighted here is the human warmth with which we are always received.
According to the commander, the ship has 146 crew members, of which 73 are students.
They are young people who come with great expectations, eager to learn, to do things well. And what better than this scenario where they have a very relevant historical maritime tradition. So we are in this place.
The commander extended an invitation to all the residents and tourists on the island to take advantage of this opportunity and visit the Gloria ship and discover its different environments. The ship arrived on the island yesterday, Sunday, and will be available and open to the community until noon on Tuesday, September 27.
During the weekend, a 13-year-old was wounded in the knee and right leg by firearm. According to doctor on duty, the patient is stable. The events occurred on Saturday around 1:30 in the afternoon in the sector of a hill in front of the Tamarind Cultural Center on the hill. Residents in the neighboring area heard several gunshots. The investigation group of the CTI prosecutor's office was immediately on the scene, and the road was closed for a few minutes while the due process was being carried out. And after the events that took place last week, where a group of citizens abruptly broke into Creole Classes held at the First Baptist School, Governor Everett Hawkins-Shogreen issued a statement on the matter.
Governor Hawkins-Shogreen, through a statement, denied that the certification provided in the Creole Classes project through the School of Artistic Training Sandino Manuel Ellis FASME served to link people to jobs in the departmental administration. He also gave clarity on the work of the administration to comply with the ruling of the administrative court to ensure appointments of officials who are fluent in the native language of the archipelago.
FASME, que es un proyecto que viene hace más.
FASME is a project that has been running for more than 6 years. This is a beautiful project. The people who do not speak Creole, among whom there are people with Raizal surnames who do not speak Creole, and also people who are not Raizal who want to speak Creole. It's part of this beautiful project to spread the protection of the culture, and it is good that these people want to speak Creole. It is not true. It is totally false that the certifications that are given there will serve to hire or to be appointed in the local administration. First, to be appointed as a governmental official, no evaluation of Creole or English is needed based on Law 47 of 93. To be appointed, we are complying with the ruling of the Administrative Court of San Andres, in which we have created a linguistic committee, a group of people who will make the evaluation in Creole, and we are working on that to comply with this ruling. I am very sorry for what happened, and I hope this brings clarity to this situation.
Last Friday, tourism authorities met with tourism and commercial service providers in the Sprat by Pedestrian Area, with the purpose of listening to their concerns and suggestions for the improvement of the area. The manager assigned to this area explained the purpose of the meeting.
What we are doing is socializing with all the merchants, with tent renters, with the boatmen's cooperative, with the people who profit in some way from tourism on the issue of caring for the pathway, throwing of garbage, noise, public order, respect, emphasizing the environmental and noise aspects in all of this that applies to respect and tranquility.
Taking into account the main actors, stakeholders of the pathway zone and the socialization led by the tourism office to reach agreements and solve shortcomings, the manager of the pathway indicated some of the points to be discussed at the meeting.
Today we are with those who form part of the Native Brothers Cooperative, who have been very judicious and supportive as always. We're going to work on issues related to the environment. We're going to talk about service. We're going to talk about the environment, about noise, and we're going to talk about security. We're going to talk about how we can unite, because this is not only the work of the government and the institutions, but also responsibility is a subject of co-responsibility.
Finally, the legal representative of the Native Brothers Cooperative said that the approach with the departmental administration is something they have been seeking for a long time due to the shortcomings that are occurring in the pathway zone and that must be improved to provide better service to residents and tourists.
Native Brothers Cooperative had to cite the local authority because of the problems that exist at this moment on the pathway. More than anything else, for the first time in history, so many things have been happening and the local government has not done much. It has ignored many things that are happening. So that's why we invited the local government to discuss some specific issues.
Among the main points raised by the tourism providers were the improvement of security in the area and the problem of the high volume of loudspeakers along the pathway area, among others. The tourism office also indicated that its secretariat will not only be working on improving the service provided along the pathway, but that it will be a joint effort with other secretariats and the community.
On the other hand, during the weekend, the authorities conducted an awareness campaign in the Sprat-by pedestrian walkway in order to control different situations of public disorder in this attraction, where it is recurrent to observe the bad behavior of locals and visitors who do not comply with the rules of coexistence.
The Tourism Secretariat, in coordination with the Office of Population Control and Residence OCRE and the National Police, among other entities, conducted a tour of inspection and awareness of the pedestrian pathway in Sprat-by in order to ensure a healthy coexistence in this tourist site of the island.
We are in an institutional joint work in which we want to generate spaces of awareness and education to generate pleasant spaces for our community and our tourists.
During the brigade, one of the purposes of authorities was to remind locals and visitors that they can share without disturbing the tranquility of the companion, much less starring in shows that they threaten the integrity of others. At the same time, the Secretary of Tourism refers to complex situations that could cause damage to the physical integrity of those attending the site, such as the mishandling of power poles.
Este tipo de ejercicios de sensibilización busca.
This type of awareness campaigns seek to tag both with tourists and with the actors who provide tourist services in the pedestrian pathway area, seeking to sensitize them a little about the correct behavior in these spaces. The prohibition to consume liquor in public spaces according to the police code, the noise and the prohibition of loudspeakers at full volume that also bothers tourists who come. Desai also supported us because it is more and more often to find people manipulating the electric poles to extract cables with which they connect other cables and light bulbs. This can endanger not only the lives of the residents but also of our tourists.
Having a clear idea of who are and how many tourists are on the island is of utmost importance for population control, according to the director of IOCRE.
La idea es que nosotros tengamos claro.
We want to have a clear idea of who are the residents and who are the tourists in order to have a real population control in the department.
Lastly, during the tour, emphasis was also made on the need to use waste bins, the importance of keeping the beaches clean and respecting the common spaces.
Our regional channel Teleislas will be part of a new proposal that seeks to exalt the country's tourist diversity through a journey that they can enjoy from their homes. It is the first docu-reality on sustainable tourism in which the 8 regional channels participate, called Ruta Colombia. If you want to know more details and participate, go to www.rutaporcolombia.com and fill out the form. With didactic activities, officials of the Health Secretariat captured the attention of children and adolescents in the sector of red grown. In the framework of the closing of the Andean Week, here is a recap of the activity.
With billboards, dramatization, games, and talks, officials of the Health Secretariat, nurses, and psychologists promote and strengthen the issues surrounding the prevention of teenage pregnancy as part of the Andean Week. During the activities developed in the sector, it was possible to make visible the action that year after year are developed to promote the decrease of fertility in children and adolescents. Keisha Mosquera-Smith, who led the activity, told us about the dynamic they use.
We are doing an activity with the children, showing them what is sexual violence, what is psychological violence, and how they can prevent pregnancy in adolescents and girls. They also have the freedom to ask questions and to know what their sexual rights are.
The idea of the activities at the closing of the Andean Week was to increase murals and place them around the sector of red ground, so that as well as them, the sector as such who knows the objective of the Andean Week and transmit their learning. According to the Health Secretariat staff, the activity was developed satisfactorily.
And now let's learn about other facts that are making news today in our brief news section.
83 lifeguards from the archipelago of San Andres and Old Providence updated their knowledge in cardiopulmonary resuscitation with the latest in international standards, management of traumatized patients, first aid from the basic, intermediate, and advanced component, and control of catastrophic bleeding, among other topics, were treated during 5 days of theoretical practical training through the simulation carried out in the Spratby sector. During 12 hours, the participants focused on the aquatic part, emphasizing water entries, safety devices, how to approach bathers in the water, their treatment on land, and apply for medicine. The departmental government has 30 lifeguards and 14 pre-hospital care who will be distributed on the different beaches, both in the center and south of the island. The Environmental Protection Group of the National Police rescued 6 puppies in a state of abandonment, approximately 5 days old. The canines were transferred to the departmental shelter to be attended by veterinary personnel and to preserve their life and integrity. In a coordinated effort between the Coralina Environmental Corporation and the National Police, the attention of wildlife animal that was injured in the northern part of the department, it was found that it was a green heron, which is a resident bird. Thanks to the call of the community, was rescued in a timely manner and later successfully released. With a religious act in the Apostolic Tabernacle of Faith Church, The week of spirituality was open in the morning hours. For tomorrow 27, there will be activities in educational institutions, the home for the senior citizens, San Pedro Claver, and the prison New Hope. For Wednesday 28, there will be a visit to the sector of New Guinea by the Carriers of Peace. For Thursday 29 and Friday 30th, there will be a musical and cultural activities at the Morgan Canyon and the Pedestrian Area of Sprat Bight.
With this, we reach to the end of our broadcast, but we see you tonight at 8 p.m. with more of Teleislas News. Good afternoon.